Hi everybody, Benita Hudson here, your psychic life and business coach with the December forecast. This is going to be a very interesting month. If we look at the fact that all the die have shown up on the mat, but in a very different configuration from anything I've ever seen before, we have the chaos die with the unknowable face showing up, saying there's nothing inevitable here. Anything is possible. We don't know how this is going to work itself out. But there we have it. There's a mutability to this. We have the hand card for the fate die. These are the two I always look for first. That's saying what happens is what's going to happen. So it really plays in with the unknowable. It's going to be what it's going to be. So don't worry about end results. There's nothing you can do about that anyway. We have the copper die showing up under the present, which acts like a lightning rod. It's bringing energy to the present situation. And we have the actions die showing up as the sword, saying that basically you have to act swiftly. Interesting that we have the Knight of Judgment showing up as the card for this month, and it's all about purity of action, being really clear on who you are. Is what I'm doing serving my purpose? Is it serving that pure purpose of the soul? So all the work we've been doing on getting to know ourselves is really playing a part in this situation. How much are we really showing up purely and taking the action that we really need to take? Now, what's interesting is that we have the alley die that actually is an alley. And it's saying alleys are these things, intermediaries between our day-to-day and another world that lives within our own. A place where survival is not always guaranteed, but good friends are. The alley in this way is a reminder that there's a universal experience hidden here. So I find that interesting. We're going to have to act swiftly, and it's going to be universal. We're all going to feel the shift. We're all going to feel the need to go, okay, I need to take action here, and I need to have clarity, and I need to just go for it. Okay? So that's our alley die. The attentions die, again, I'm relying on the book here because so many faces are showing up I haven't seen before. Under history, we have a lantern. And it acts this way. It's meant for a group of people on a journey together. It's what is freely shared with those trusted to be close enough to be in its light. So it's saying we as humanity have a shared history here, informing us about what we're doing going forward. In other words, this is not completely individualistic. We have all been called onto a spiritual path. I do believe we as a society are going through an accelerated evolutionary process, and everything is playing a part. What's going on politically is waking us up. We can't be complacent. We have to have a particular stance on things, and we have to act on that. We have to know what our values are and live those values. No sitting back in the armchair. We have to show up in our world, and we're doing it together, quite like that. Okay, the autumn die is showing up as the skull, and we've got a whole bunch here under fated, which is really interesting. So that's our skull, and it is about things passing. So it's the equivalent of the tarot death card. Now, bear in mind, there's 3 we've looked at so far in this sector, which is all about things, the future, what's fated. And we've got the unknowable of that's the one we have for the chaos die. We've got the cards one here saying, hey, it's going to be what it's going to be. And this one saying, this is a passing phase. We're really being told, don't get too attached to what's happening in the future. It's too changeable right now. It's just time to act now. We've done the chaos die, so we can skip that. The elements die is showing up right here. Remember how I said we have a triangle here, and we have the lightning rod. What is it igniting? And the one it's igniting is soul. And so with this one, it's all about our capacity to love. So in the present, compassion is what's being ignited here. I quite like that. Done our fate die, so we can skip through that one. The Goblin die is showing up under fated, and it's inspiration. So you see the little goblin getting an idea. It's like he's being struck by lightning. Okay. And so it speaks of outside forces coming to act before and within us. It's the spark of creation. So in other words, what's happening right now is leading to a situation that's literally going to cause us to create something new. That so far, the other die here in this sector are saying, you can't know what it is. Right now, it would be a distraction from focusing on what needs to happen in the present. But just know, creativity is going to be unleashed in the fated one. The influences die is the only one that is showing up close to being within the core. And it's the sun shining on this flower. So we're going to look at that one under core and see what we get. It's pure sunshine in the kindest way. Light, life, love, laugh, whatever. All you need there. The reading is good. How cool is that? So the only one that shows up within the core is saying, don't worry, it's a good reading. Just like these other die are saying, don't worry about what's fated. It's all good. It's all going to be what it's supposed to be. Trust that you're on your path. Okay? This is so interesting. Our kindness die is also showing up under beyond, and it shows a hand holding a gift. And with this one, it's gifted announces itself. It's either something you've graciously gifted to another, or it might be the need for you to do so. So interesting, under fated, it's this idea of generosity. We're all in this together. We're going to take care of each other. We're going to supply each other's needs. Community, reconnecting. I love it. I'm just blown away by this reading. Now, the longings die is also showing something I've never seen show up before under fated. It's called movement, and it establishes a dramatic need to stop being in one spot. It's the need to have things change, to avoid stagnation, to move when things grow stable. In other words, just like all these other die are saying, it's going to be what it's going to be, but we have the spark of creativity creating movement. So something major is coming down the pipe under fated, like eventually. So we're really getting a lot of encouragement around this. Now remember how I said we have the lightning rod here, sparking our ability to love. The third die is order. So it looks like a checkerboard. And it's subjecting things to being placed in spaces based on outside judgment. Organization. So organization and order is enacted to create a positive end. Isn't that cool? So we've got this lightning rod in the present, igniting us to use our soul, to use our capacity to love, to create order, a new order, an order founded on love, on compassion, all happening in the present. I am just loving this. So our Mariner's die this time shows up under beyond. It's that knot, that Celtic knot, that under knot. Okay, so it specifically is used as a cushion to keep pulleys from bashing the surroundings. Purpose gives way to form here, and this knot is an intricate design formed by just one single piece of line. So it takes a straight line and transforms it into function. It's about the interconnectedness of simple and smaller things into something larger, more beautiful, and often more functional. You see how these are all tied in? Creativity being sparked here. Movement to create something functional. Wow. Okay, the metamorphosis die is showing up in the past, and it is showing up as milkweed. It's kind of hard to see, but it's milkweed. And it's a place where monarch butterflies lay their eggs. So it's when you have accomplished, when you're just starting, when you are in any stage of life, we all need to remember time to rest and recoup. So it's saying the time for rest is in the past. Remember, there's swift action that needs to be taken here in the future. The time to rest is in the past. Okay. Crossed swords showing up under momentum. It's conflict. So it can be any kind of conflict, politics, war, protests. We are seeing that. It is building momentum. People are no longer complacent. People are getting, excited in good and bad ways. There's a lot of emotion coming up that's causing people to say something needs to change here, and I need to show up for that. I need to do something about that. There's so much conflict in the world that is stirring the pot and bringing us to consciousness. Remember, we can't get there through holding hands and singing Kumbaya. We get there because we're pushed. Things get so uncomfortable, people speak up and they do something, right? Nobody ever grew inside their comfort zone. So it makes sense. This is providing the momentum. All right. The relationships die also shows up under fated. And this one, again, is one I normally don't see. It's called Another, and it speaks of a power imbalance between the person and somebody who lords it over us. So it often comes up in unhealthy relationships. So it makes sense. It's an ingredient of this mixture here, saying that which is unhealthy is contributing to creating the balance. We always grow from having a petty tyrant, whether it's a family member, a boss, a political figure, what have you. It's a necessary ingredient to creating change. There has to be the discomfort in order to create that. Our spring die is showing up under momentum, and it is the seed. Something's growing from the seed. It's about beginning growth. So here we go. We have conflict, which is creating growth, right? Moving things along, as it were. The suits die is showing up right between the two. So conflict that creates growth. Again, this is one I never see, and it's the discs die. And it speaks to the material world of things grounded in reality. So in other words, the conflict, this is so cool. These are just all lined up. The conflict in the world is having a material effect on people. People are losing jobs. People are struggling financially. People are struggling with the food economy. And it's generating growth and causing us to have to take action and move things along. Okay. The summer die is showing up in the foundation as excess. So this one, I don't even have to look to see what this is about. In the past, we've had excess. We've had so much abundance that we complain about silly little things not being the way we want them in our world. We get impatient standing in line for something, even though the thing we want will still be there when we get there. We don't have the scarcity of standing in a line and getting 10 people deep and being told we've run out. You have to go home hungry to your hungry family. We have so much that it made us complacent, which is why we need the current situation to get us to see, what do I value? What am I willing to stand up for? And am I willing to share so that we all do well? Am I willing to build community and not just go, I'm good, that's your problem, right? The winter die shows up in the past, and it is sorrow. So in the past, we've had sorrow, we've had tears, we've had all of that. But remember, these two together are saying, stop resting on your laurels and feeling sorry for yourself. That's in the past. You need to be present for this. You need to be aware and fully functioning for the next phase of life. And then we have the wounds die. And in this case, isn't this interesting? The hand is unmarred. In other words, the spark of creativity creates movement that brings us through in a way that is healing and helpful. So remember how when we were looking at the beginning, and the message was, don't worry about the future. what's going to come about is going to be positive. We know that from this one and from some of these other ones. It's going to create a foundation for people to create community and be there for each other. There's one ingredient here of feeling oppressed by somebody that causes all this movement to create something better. We need that fly in the ointment to get us to do something. So everything we're seeing here is coming from a very positive place. And I just want to look at the alley die one more time. Yeah, the universal experience, the connection to simplicity of being alive in everything we do and experience. So in other words, when we look at this, it's saying, stop feeling sorry for yourself. That time is over. It's not time for introspection that way. It's time for action. The excess of the past, you're done with that. We are having a universal experience here. It's a positive one. Remember that. This present situation is igniting our compassion to create order that works for everybody. A sharing culture. The conflict that's affecting us materially is going to be the seed of growth that causes us to take a powerful action that we know we must take. And it's going to lead us in a direction together, profound experience for all of us that creates creativity, movement, unmarred, which means it's going to be something we're all going to come out for the better for, despite whatever we're going through now. It's going to be better. But it's reassuring us of that there's going to be a foundation here of something strong being built that's about working with people, about compassion. But we are being told, don't attach to that. You're being told that's coming. But remember, reality isn't happening to us. It's generated from us. We are creating our world. So we're being told this creation is ultimately positive, ultimately beneficial for all of us. But don't take your eye off the ball. You're going to have to take action of some kind that your soul says, this is what I came here to do. This is why I'm on the planet. This is what I agreed to participate in. You'll know it when it comes. And you'll know that you need to act without hesitation. You know, it's like this. If you're listening to your intuition, you're in a receptive state and you're waiting for the opening. But then when the opening comes, you have to move from receptivity to action. I need to do something about this. I'm doing it, and I'm doing it now. And it leads us all in a good direction. I hope you feel as positive, empowered, and excited about December as I do. I can't wait to see what the new year brings us. But this is amazing, and I've never seen a spread like this. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have sharing it with you. I'll look forward to seeing you next month. Bye for now.